If you thought Australia started the much-anticipated bouncer war during the first test in Brisbane, think again. It was none other than Tony Greig.
That's caught, is he? Let's see what happens here. He's out, yes, he is out.
But I would hazard a guess that when Tony Greig came to the batting crease, that he might be the recipient of one or two shorter pitch deliveries from Dennis Lilly.
He's given me the message that there's a nice cold shower waiting for me in the pavilion. So as I went past him, I said, just remember one thing. Remember who started this.
And I'll never forget Dennis coming into the dressing room after he came off and saying to Ian, just remember who started this. And he said, what are you talking about? And he said, just remember who started this.
Brian Luckhurst and I walked out and Dennis Lilly was right back at the end of his run. We thought, well, this is funny, you know, he's been bowling off a short run suddenly. So Brian said, what do you think? And I said, well, I don't know, but you take first ball and we'll see how it goes. And of course, Dennis came in and bowled quick.
Having faced both of them, mind you, Lilly in club cricket and quite a lot of Thompson in shield cricket, all I knew was that, you know, standing 30 yards behind the crease was a lot easier than standing at the crease facing the buggers.
And appeal this time, he's walked, he's out. Brilliantly caught by Marsh. Luckhurst caught Marsh, bowled Thompson.
He was quick, and sometimes he hit the bat. Before the bat was ready to hit the ball hit the bat. And you thought, my gosh, you know, what was that? Hit the splice and it's gone.
And in the air, what's that? Is he out? He's out. Amos caught Jenner. Bowled Thompson.
I saw the look on the face of a couple of the batsmen, and I wasn't laughing. Because, you know, I knew how they were feeling. It was intimidating stuff. It was dangerous stuff.
As he used to say, I just sort of shuffle up and go wham.
Thompson bowling to the nest. And that was a pretty vicious ball, that one.
Well, I do remember my first ball for him because he hit me on the shoulder as it reared up, and that was quite painful, although I couldn't show it.
And they'll play it on his bowl.
We needed to attack them, otherwise we were just going to be fodder. And that's that's what I adopted, and I decided also to try and stir them up a little bit.
And I think the storm signals are up. I think Lilly has intimated to Greig what his intentions are.
We spent the first innings, or England's first innings, trying to knock Tony Greig's block off. And this happened mainly because every time he'd hit Dennis for 4, he'd signal a boundary.
Lilly bowling to Greig. And that's 4. And look at Greig now, signalling 4 for himself.
That was Greggy. That was great, the way Greggy played, and he always wanted to try and stir people up. He would try and stir Ian Chappell up each time. He would try and stir all the bowlers up.
And that could be his 100. It's wide of Walters. Walters coming around very quickly, and he can't get to it. There's his 100.
If you make 100 against guys on a pitch that suits them, you know, when it was quick, those are the occasions you remember fondly. And I'm pleased that, you know, there are others that remember it as well.
He just got in there and he tried to give it back to us. He got away with it, that first dig, the 100, you know, I mean, because we were just trying to kill him and it was ridiculous. And that was the first time and the only time I ever seen Ian Chappell filthy. He got in that dressing room and he just had a go at Dennis and I, calling us idiot, just shortly in that, and we go, yeah, we know. He said, and you idiot, talking to me, he said, you're the one that should have got him out. You know, a Yorker straight into his big plates of meat and knock him, you know, head over heels, and then if it was any good, hit the stump. This is what he said.
However, England's difficulties with the raw pace of Lilly and Tomo were well and truly exposed during their second innings.
Thompson to Edridge.
And bowl him.
Thompson to Amos.
Chance, and he's out. Caught by Walters. Thompson bowling to the nest.
Enter Tony Greig.
Thompson bowling to Greig. Oh, bowled him. Yorked him, leg stump. And the jubilation from the Australian team.
He absolutely bowled me one of the best balls I've ever received. In that second innings, we knocked my leg stump back, which that was the start of the sand shoe crusher thing, because I didn't used to wear spikes when I batted.
Terrific to see that ball flying and, you know, and stumps cartwheeling and the big sand shoe crusher coming in every now and again. And, you know, he was just a mixed bag, Tom. They were going all over the place, but quick.
Thompson to Lever. And this is just out of the reach of Lilly.
In those days, you only got a cap on, you know, compared to these days. They come out like Sir Lancelot, you know. So it's a bit of a different story.
The apprehension on some of the poor batsmen's faces and in their eyes was, you know, it was sort of, you could see that they weren't all that happy about being there. Some of them.
It could be a catch. It's just short of Jenner. Hit him on the hand and he's threw his gloves off. That must have hurt.
Chappell came up and said, "Derek, how's the hand? Which one was it?" And I said, "Oh, it was my right." And he said, "Oh, that's a shame, we were aiming for the left."
Bowled, it's all over. Australia win by 166 runs. England all out for 166, and Australia win outright by 166 runs.
I think if I was playing against Tomo, as often as some of those guys had to, and him going at full revs, I don't think I'd have been too happy as a batsman.